wacky to me, but this here is worthy of celebration.
Welcome back to Boys Bible Study, the only podcast that will give you a step-by-step guide on how to identify and battle demons. That's right. In this episode, you're going to have to listen toward the end. We are going to provide you with a step-by-step guide of how to cast out demons. I am your co-host, Ash. I am here with
Scott.
And Ghoulian.
Now, I can think of a spirit we're going to have to exorcise right away because you, my friend, are speaking from a dark place right now.
Yeah, I'm just exercising my freedom of speech.
Oh.
If you don't like what I say, then get the hell out of my country.
In the spirit of the season, in the spirits among us on this special Halloween season, we, of course, are spotlighting the pure alternatives to this very dark, demonic stuff that normally gets fed to you during the month of October. We here at Boys Bible Study are once again providing the alternative Christian-themed horror all through October. Our film this week is a delightful film, clocks in at an hour long, and it is called Spirits Among Us. What's the deal with all these spirits among us?
What's the deal? Yo, your spirit's so fat that it doesn't sit near, when it sits among us. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, if I was like 20 years younger, I would be making Among Us jokes.
Right.
That's still a huge meme, you have to understand.
Yeah.
Like, people are always talking about this. I can't do that. I'm 32 years young. It's not proper for me to be saying such things.
It is, I will say, demonic possession is very sus.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
To say that.
Oh, my God. That was very youth pastor, though. I thought that was a very admirable youth pastor imitation. There.
Bringing in occult books into your house is very sus.
It really is. And like, by that same token, you have to watch like the multiplayer games that your kid is playing. Like, don't just look at their bookshelf, look at what's in their Steam account. Also, Steam, think about that. Where is a place where there's a lot of steam? I'm talking about hell.
But would there be water in hell to
That's
make
a really
steam?
Good point. Yeah, maybe more smoke than steam.
Yeah. What is brimstone, by the way?
I think it's like stone that's on fire. Never really thought about this before.
Like charcoal?
Yeah. Satan is just like a dad who's getting the grill preheated for later. Every day's the 4th of July in hell.
Oh, it's sulfur.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Again, our film this week is called Spirits Among Us. And this is a really good thematic film based on what we covered last week. If you're one of our Patreon subscribers, you may have gotten a chance to listen to our episode about the Hayes Wright family's film, The Exorcism in Amarillo. That one and Spirits Among Us are both movies about morally pure families trying to battle dark forces that have invaded the family home. I guess I wanted to start out by saying with Spirits Among Us, basically the whole movie is about a family of 3, a mom, dad, and daughter. The main character is Mark, the head of the household. His wife is Janice, and their young daughter is Julie. We're basically just dealing with the 3 of them the whole film. And I wanted to start out by saying they are the perfect family.
Yeah, beautiful home. What's his deal? What does he do for a job?
I don't think it ever reveals it. He works from home sometimes.
Yeah.
He goes to the office. But, he's one of those dads who can like fix anything. He's like, whatever the problem is, I'll take care of it.
I don't know. Good looking guy too.
Good looking guy. A bear of a man.
Yeah. This whole movie, like you said it best, Ash. You said this looks like an FMV cutscene.
Yes.
Like every part of this felt like it was like made for a PC computer game in like 1996.
Yeah, it's like a point and click game about it's sort of like Phantasmagoria.
That's what I was thinking the whole time. Yeah.
Mixed with what's the one with the cameras where people are trying to break into your house?
Oh, Night Trap.
It's like Christian Night Trap mixed with Phantasmagoria, if you can picture that.
Oh man, I love Night Trap.
Night Trap is so sick. Night Trap did so much for
feature cut.
Yeah. Night Trap did so much for filmmaking and SOV filmmaking, even though it's more animated.
For me, this movie looked a lot like a Joe Sherlock movie, who's a Pacific Northwest SOV filmmaker.
Oh, cool.
Except minus any sex or sandwich making, which is in all of his movies.
Sandwich making is a motif in his films.
Yeah, casual sex and casual sandwich making.
I love that. That's so cool. Yeah, I love when the director has that thing that has to be in all his movies. It's how like Harmony Korine has tap dancing. Like there's tap dancing in almost all of his movies.
It's true.
Wait, what's this director's name? Perkins? What's his first name?
Joe Sherlock.
Joe Sherlock.
Oh, Jesus. Joe Sherlock.
And he's great. It's a very similar vibe and aesthetic to this movie. Although, but just Christian. It's the only difference.
Check this guy out.
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
very intriguing.
To the extent that I feel like I should send it to him.
Wow, cool.
Having no prior relationship with this director.
I would love
other than
I'd love to
ordering
hear his
movies from
thoughts.
him.
Would love to hear his thoughts on that. Yeah, again, it looks like we're in a CD-ROM point and click game. That's the visual vibe of this movie. And, again, like sort of the spiritual vibe of this movie is that we are basically encountering the perfect Christian family. They get along really well. They have a good sense of humor. They're sort of like ripping each other. It seems like the parents discipline Julie in a way that's, kind but firm. They really can do no wrong. They don't have any faults that are revealed like throughout the entire movie.
There is one fault that comes up a few times. And it has to do with something you already said. And it's that dad, what's his name?
Mark.
Dad, Mark. He thinks he can do everything, fixing things around the house. And makes a point to say that repeatedly once things get a little weird in the house, that he's going to fix the problem. He himself is going to fix the problem.
Yeah. I love his constant gaslighting of his wife and children throughout the movie, too. That was awesome.
That is, to be fair, a fixture of like the haunted house genre.
Yeah.
But it was funny in this movie.
Horror
like
movies in general.
In what particular way?
Oh, wasn't there a scene where they were laying in bed together or something? I mean, there was just a scene where like the wife kept pointing out all of the strange things that were happening all at the same time. And he was like the bloody handprints on the mirror. He was like, I was changing a light bulb like 3 weeks ago. It could have been just my handprints. And the steam makes it, when you take a shower, it causes the handprints on the mirror to show up.
Yeah. He was like, there's rats and there's electrical wires and I put handprints on the mirror and this is happening simultaneously right now.
And when he found the stuffed animal in the...
Mr. Rumples.
When he found Mr. Rumples in the pipes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they insisted that the daughter flushed him down the toilet or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, her favorite toy. Come on.
How was school today, little lady?
It was okay. How was yours?
Well, not so good. We need to talk about Mr. Rumples.
What about him?
Well, after that little joke you played, I had to throw him away.
What?
Yeah, he was covered in sewage, Julie. What, do you think we can keep him?
What do you mean?
Julie, you can't flush a toy down the toilet and think everything's going to be okay.
But I didn't do that.
Julie, we are not going to fight about this.
But I didn't do that.
Now, Julie, your dad and I didn't do it, so who does that leave?
I don't know, but I didn't do it.
Julie, stop. You know what happens when you lie. You need to go to your room for a while.
I'm not lying. This isn't fair.
What is going on here?
It's something with this house.
Hey, Scott, there was a monkey in this movie. technically. A stuffed monkey
Oh,
named
yeah.
Mr. Rumples. So we're getting closer and closer to having an ape movie on Boys Bible Study.
I'm going to have to call up producer / director / writer Ray Jenkins and see if he wants to make an ape movie with me.
Yeah. A Christian ape movie.
Christian
Oh my
monkey
God.
movie.
Scott and Ray Jenkins teaming up to make the real Christian monkey movie. That is going to happen. There's got to be one, right?
Yeah, like there's got to be something about like evolution or something, right?
Yeah, but I'm even just talking about like
what if there's a monkey that preaches against evolution, like someone uses sign language to save its eternal soul, and then it becomes like a preacher and like uses sign language, and then there's like an interpreter.
Yeah, and then yeah, it's like the equivalent of Coco the gorilla, and the gorilla's like water, fire, cat, love. If monkeys, why do monkeys and humans exist at the same time? And you're like, wow, Coco, damn.
Speaking of Coco, did I ever tell y'all that I was at, this was a presentation at Stanford that my aunt was putting on for some reason. She never worked for Stanford.
Okay.
Or was ever a teacher. She had some job with like AT&T or something like that. And so somehow she ended up in a situation to host the first live stream interaction between animals and humans. And so it was so this is like in the 90s, like late 90s, and Coco like used sign language to talk to somebody else over the internet, and it was the first time ever, supposedly publicly, I guess at least, that an animal talked to a human over some type of like FaceTime application.
That's so funny because I always thought the first time that animals and humans communicated over live stream was when we would show Christian movies for our listeners on Twitch.
Oh, come on. Who's the animal in that situation?
Yeah, I left it kind of purposefully open-ended so people can either flatter or self-deprecate themselves. That's the funny man's technique. To not offend anybody.
It's real monkey business.
Real monkey business. But there's got to be a Christian ape movie. I'm thinking like, is there an MVP, most valuable primate, but for the Lord? Like that's what I want to know. There's got to be one, right? Come on.
The closest I could find is a movie called Gigi and Nate, which is about a disabled person and their helper monkey.
Wow.
Who's a capuchin.
Oh, one of those, capuchin monkeys.
These are pretty cute.
Those are cute. I don't know if that's a typical arrangement. I don't think a lot of disabled people have helper monkeys.
I feel like they used to. I know there's the episode of The Simpsons where Homer gets a helper monkey.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Jesus is sort of like our helper monkey. He's always with us.
It's true. It's true. Oh, this is a new movie. Gigi and Nate.
Yeah. Yeah, it just came out.
Interesting.
Okay.
That, right. And we discovered Sea Ape on the last episode, which also just came out. Maybe we're in the renaissance of ape movies right now.
Ooh.
And we don't even know it.
Yeah.
Hell, that sounds good.
Anyway.
I still did not see Sea Ape.
That's okay.
I was trying hard to figure out how to rip it from Roku so I didn't have to watch it via Roku. And then I got sidetracked by the NBA season starting.
It happens. Well, our podcast, Boys Banana Study, will be coming out soon to document these things. But until then, we have the perfect family in the perfect suburban house. But there is a darkness, and we get a taste of this darkness right in the beginning of the film when we like jump in media res to this couple having like a fucking knockdown argument where hands are being thrown in this house, being like, you have 3 days to get all your stuff out of this house. So something is amiss in Anytown, USA.
Yeah, something's up. And they show this right after they cold open with the verse Ephesians 6:12, which is a pretty good carryover from last week's movie.
Yes. The book of Ephesians, specifically Ephesians 6, Ephesians 6 verses 10 through 18 seems to be the most crucial verse when battling demons in the home. Bible scholars might be familiar with this passage, the armor of God. It really is one of the most famous like Bible verses. It's like very frequently.
It's exciting.
cited. It is. It's very exciting because for a couple of reasons. Because it gives you this very strong metaphor in verse 13. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. Blah, blah, blah. The belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness. And there's there's sort of the feeling of being suited up with a suit of armor when you're reading the Bible. Very fun, very warlike. Used to great effect in last week's movie, where David Owen Wright plays himself as an Iraq war veteran who's like patrolling his house with the armor of God. I will put on the breastplate of righteousness.
Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
They use that in this movie too.
Yes, they did.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, again, we have the perfect suburban house, but there's a hint of some darkness because the previous occupants were like literally slapping and screaming at each other, and their relationship has gone to hell, and they're leaving the house. They're putting it on the market for our family to move in.
Did we see a shot of somebody performing some sort of ritual in the attic?
Yes.
Was it before or after they were fighting?
I think before. I think that's one of the first things we see in the movie. And it was also that scene which really gave me the like the full motion video, the FMV game vibes. Cause we see like someone in a hood, like pixelated, like putting a fucking like dog skull in the attic or something. And I was like, this looks like Gabriel Knight too.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Something's amiss, that you're not being set up for success. If there's men in cloaks like doing shit in your house before you move in. And sure enough.
That's why you got to anoint the doorways.
Yes.
You got to anoint the doorways when you move in.
That is something we learned from Exorcism in Amarillo. If I had to give advice for any new homeowners or apartment renters, I would say put some essential oil on the doorway, like right when you get in. It's an investment that pays dividends.
Don't burn sage. That's demonic.
Yes. Thank you.
It is?
Yeah, because seems like it, right? I mean,
witches do it.
Boy.
Yeah, witches do it. Don't bring your eye of newt into the house.
No eye of newt. I know they've been selling that in Lassen's and Whole Foods recently.
Yeah.
And so
do
not do that. No eye of newt.
No seed oil.
No seed oils, of course, the most demonic thing of them all. If you're making a recipe, let's say you're making a stew and the recipe calls for frogs and snails and puppy dog tails, I would recommend finding a different way to feed your family.
Yeah, if you find yourself saying bubble, bubble, toil and trouble, you might be a witch. You might be inviting demonic presence into your household.
Yeah.
Ooh, do people try to sell mustard seed oil?
Mustard seed oil. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm thinking that would be like a good thing that people are familiar with, and you could like pretend it as healing values and then cite the mustard seed in the Bible, and having just the faith of a mustard seed can cure your body of its ailments or something.
Very interesting. I can see the MLM forming.
Right, like if we want to start selling merch, we might as well start with oils. It's as good a place as any.
Yeah, one day. Yeah, I think we should get into oils. I think it would have the benefit of it would be a fun grift, and it would also protect our gentle listeners from the supernatural.
And we can start informing people to like put on certain oils or smell certain oils while listening to the podcast.
Yeah, ooh, a multi-sensory experience that would also protect you from demonic doorways that you may have unintentionally brought to your
Hey, you
home.
make a better demonic doorway than a window. Right? Than a demonic window.
Mm-hmm.
Please clap.
I liked it. Yeah, but I guess I shouldn't give them too hard of a time with the anointing doorways thing, because in last week's movie Exorcism in Amarillo, the lead accidentally brings in a demonic gateway to the house,
Right.
via Craigslist book pickup. But this week, it's already there in the house, so they might be the perfect family and truly devoted to the church and God, but the doorway's already there.
Have either of you ever found something in a domicile that you moved into? Like found anything interesting?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, thank you. It is.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. Have you, Scott? I mean, you just moved into a new domicile.
Yeah, this place isn't particularly interesting because the previous owner still comes by to get his NRA mail from me. But he's like, I swear I change the address on that every time. And you're like,
You need the NRA mail. You can't just get that on the email.
What could they possibly be sending? Bullets?
Yeah, the Bullet subscription club.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many magazines they put out. What is even
This guy's reading
just
the
every
NRA
time? It's like,
magazine?
guns are pretty cool. Yeah. There was one I forgot to give him, and the cover is like a caricature of like Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and I want to say Chuck Schumer, and they have these devilish grins on their face, and they're standing on top of the Constitution, crossing out the Second Amendment.
Is it a Ben Garrison drawing?
They couldn't
Might as
afford
well
Ben
be.
Garrison.
Imagine like wanting that around your house, looking at that.
I know. It's like of all the things you could complain about a politician, it's like I'm sure they're up to no good in some capacity, but like I don't think it's that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't you have like a closet full of cat pee or something at one of your places you lived in?
Oh God, yeah. Okay, that's not even the one I was going to bring up, but I'll bring that up
sorry,
too.
I didn't know.
The
I
first
thought you
one
were
I was
done.
going to bring up was that in college, I lived in a house with some friends. That place was like a 5-bedroom house, but it was like obviously bigger from the outside than it looked on the inside. We learned that like a doorway from one side of the house to the other had been like bricked over or plastered over or whatever.
What?
And so we finally explored the other side of the house one day, and it was like basically just as big on the other side with like bedrooms and everything, another kitchen and everything, and had a full basement underneath. But the thing is, it looked like people had either been raptured or like had to flee immediately.
What?
Like there was like food left on the stove, just like bed cover like thrown over, like they had just gotten there, like house completely full of stuff.
What the fuck?
So you had a whole other house sealed off from your house?
Yes.
And the house was like...
Could you see that from the outside? Or is it like a House of Leaves kind of thing?
Well, from the front you wouldn't have been able to tell, but if you like went around to the back, you could see that something was weird there. But yeah, it was crazy too, because like there were obviously like animals in the roof, but like we couldn't really get them out, and so we're like, I guess they're on the other side. Like I'm gonna cut out this person's name, but mutual friend of ours, it sounded like he had like a whole family of raccoons like living in his wall.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Dude, that's for some haunted type shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's a good one.
That'd be a
My
good
rent was
Christian
cheap
horror
as
movie.
fuck though.
Finding
I'm
the
sure.
There you go.
Finding the one raptured family.
I've had that idea for a long time. Just like a rapture movie where only like 12 people get raptured.
Yeah.
That's kind of the plot of The
be great.
Leftovers, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
I couldn't make it through the whole first season.
I thought it was like the premise was that the rapture happens and it was like less than 1% of people got raptured or whatever. Or it was like a really small percentage of people in the town with seemingly no understanding of why.
Well, we'll have to cover the entire series for one episode of the podcast one day.
When I lived in a house in college, and we had lived there for like a semester at this point, and one guy was moving out, and me and the other two guys that lived there were talking, and one of them said they had never seen The Room, and they really wanted to watch it, and they didn't know like where to find it, because this was like before it was like readily available on streaming, and it was like kind of hard to torrent at that point for some reason. And then the roommate who was moving out, like he would not have heard this conversation. He like came home to get some stuff, and he like walked out of his room with a DVD, and he just like threw it on the table, and he was like, "Do you guys want this? I found this on top of the fridge the other day." And it was a Netflix DVD of The Room.
What?
Yeah. And this, he had like had this for like weeks because he found it on top of the fridge, which it had been there when we moved in.
Wow.
And he just like held on to it, and he was like, "Yeah, I kept forgetting to bring this out, but I just found it when we moved in." Very strange.
That's very strange.
Yeah, coincidences.
It's all about coincidences.
And his name was Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in that same household, we found out that me and another roommate who was from Long Island, like we had known each other for like 4 years at this point, and we found out while living there that our dads had known each other in college.
That's so stupid.
What?
Yeah.
I believe you, but that's when shit like that happens, it's like, no way.
Yeah. And we didn't meet and didn't know anything about each other until we met freshman year, and that never came up until that year that we were living there.
That's so wild.
There's strange energy in that place.
I don't have stories nearly as good as the both of those. I just moved into a new apartment, and the only thing out of place about it is that on the fridge, there's a sticker with a marijuana leaf, and it says "no smoking," and that's crossed out, and then it says "without me." That's the only thing that I can find.
It doesn't say that anymore.
You're gonna have to be smoking out a ghost every night.
Yeah. It doesn't say that anymore, though. Now, does it?
No, it's true. I decided to cover it up with one of Julian's original design stickers that said, "I'd rather be at a Comedy Central roast."
Oh, yeah. I was trying to remember what you wanted.
So now it has a little more of my touch. I exercised the hippie demons.
Yeah. Remember the
marijuana is out, you guys. Sorry.
Well, should I tell my other house story? Is this delaying this too long? All right. The other one is the one I wasn't thinking about that you mentioned, Ash, with the cat pee situation.
Right.
Which is that I moved into a house in Pittsburgh, also pretty good deal. Had a yard, was very well located. And we like painted all the walls and everything, and did a lot of cleaning that needed to be done. But whatever, we knew we were going to be there for as long as we were going to be in Pittsburgh for, because it was a good spot, good location, worth doing the work. And then the first time it rained, it just smelled like the worst cat pee smells I've ever smelled. And it took us like not too long to figure out, but it was like 4 different spots in the house. And the worst one was like in this closet. And like within a week later, we complained to the landlord at first, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Like, get somebody out there to like get it taken care of." But he was kind of like a brash Pittsburgh guy too. So like I didn't really know what to expect. The landlords are not particularly good in Pittsburgh. Not that they're great anywhere, but anyway, I've learned from the upstairs neighbors shortly thereafter that the woman who used to live there was very old and died there, and would leave her cat like in the closet for too long of periods of time. Like she would just fall asleep smoking or whatever, and the cat would be stuck in the closet.
Whoa.
And then when she died, she was not found like right away. Yeah. So anyway, then somebody came to like figure out the cat pee problem. They're just like dumping like jugs and jugs of chemicals onto the spot, and then like the next day it would still be there. And they came back and they're like, "Your landlord just got to replace the wood in these spots. That's like all you can do. It's like too deep."
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then then the landlord came back and said, "This isn't a problem. I had cancer. This isn't a problem."
Well, when you put it like that,
and then we're like, well, it is a problem. So
these both can be
pretty
problems.
unbearable. Yeah. So can you break our lease? And he did at least, but it was, I will never forget the phrase, "This isn't a problem. I had cancer. This isn't a problem." Just like about like no matter what issue comes up in the world, you're like, just like, you ever heard of the Holocaust?
Yeah, exactly.
You ever heard of 9/11?
Yeah.
Like
I had cancer. This
some
isn't a
worse
problem. I had
tragedy you
cancer.
can think of. Yeah.
You can literally say that to anything. If your coworker like DMs you in Slack or whatever.
A real problem's when you're tied to the train tracks and a train's coming.
Yeah. That is a big problem. Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
the home,
spirits among us.
spirits among us. The home in many horror films, going back centuries, not films, but, horror stories, anything going back centuries. The home is, of course, the site of a lot of spiritual trauma. After all, it is your home. This is the place where you should be comfortable, where you should feel safe and all these things. So, what greater horror is there than to sort of not feel like the house is in your control? And yeah, we've now had 2 Christian haunted house movies in a row where occultic influence is causing the hauntings. I guess, in the spirit of, we were just talking about some occultic things we discovered in our houses. This might be a good time to reveal that when Mark is trying to find the source of the noises in the attic, he finds a little black book with like a Post-it note stuck on it that says like, "The little innocent one, she shall be mine."
Yeah. Innocent little one, you are all mine.
Aha. Innocent little one, you are all mine. He finds this book. Now, we went through a time trying to figure out what this book was. It's a pretty good prop. It looks pretty evil.
Yeah.
In the Hayes Wrights film, it was straight up, it was just a Christian book that they pretended wasn't a cult book. Because they didn't want you to think for a moment that they would really engage with one. This film was a little more realistic, for a horror movie.
Well, a little riskier. I mean, you have to understand Ashley Hayes Wright actually went through this, so she doesn't want to repeat the same witchcraft book or even bring it up in any capacity.
That's true.
Too risky.
That's true. It is too risky. I mean, that is maybe, I think there is, like, the stakes are definitely higher in The Exorcism in Amarillo because, yes, they're retelling something that actually happened to them. There's a sort of like Blair Witch sensibility to their movie. It feels real and accessible. Whereas this one's more of a production. We have some great special effects and some great scares. What are some of the just different scares or special effects or things that are deployed throughout this film?
The demon, the way the shadow demon moved around reminded me a lot of season 3 of Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, totally.
This whole thing reminded me a lot of season 3 of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, Twin Peaks, especially season 3, was great because of the lo-fi horror.
Yeah,
that is in play in this very vivid 3D worlds. David Lynch loves doing that, having the way too simple animation to sort of show something as being interdimensional.
Yeah.
which I love.
Yeah.
I always think it works well.
Jump scares. There was, scary scenes. There was the scene with the Mortimer Snurd type ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah, I was hoping for more from the ventriloquist dummy. Like, that's one of the first things they reveal in the movie. Like, it's going to be a horror movie. And then early on, he's like, well, check this out. I didn't know I had this. And pulls out a full ventriloquist dummy from a box.
They really set it up to be like murderous toy.
Yeah.
But then never happens. There's also the dream the wife has of the husband possessed going to kill their daughter.
Yeah.
That was scary.
That was scary. But just a dream. It's just a movie.
Scary. Very scary.
Keep telling myself it's just a movie.
But also, it wasn't just a dream. It was a dream, but not just a dream, because something that happens in it that Mark says in her dream, their daughter dreams that a scary man says the same stuff.
Yes.
Word for word.
Yeah.
Yes. Their dreams are definitely linked. This phrase, innocent little one, she shall be mine. Is that it?
Innocent little one, you are all mine.
You are all mine. Innocent little one, you are all mine.
It's like a Valentine.
Truly. Yeah, that phrase becomes linked. Janice hears it in her dream of her husband going to kill their daughter. The daughter, Julie, hears it in her dream when the hand from under the bed grabs her ankle. That was scary.
Yeah.
That was very scary. And of course, he finds it like written on the book.
Mm-hmm.
I loved when it showed the phrase on the book because it was very much the eyes wide shut, give up your inquiries, which are completely useless. I was like, I wrote in my notes, we've got a new eyes wide shut screenshot to replace in our minds. So yeah, this is how the demon in the house is scaring them. He's manipulating things. She's manipulating things, opening up cabinets, calling their phone, playing ding dong ditch, essentially. Pretty tepid stuff, except for the shared dreams, which are very, very scary. This is going on, and Mark sees himself, of course, as the problem solver of the house, as the head of the household. But the real meat of this movie is what happens when Mark realizes he can't really take matters into his own hands any longer and talks to the pastor. I think, even though that's pretty close to the end of the movie, I think we should start talking about that because there's a lot to cover. And listeners, I did promise that we were going to reveal the step-by-step guide of how to cleanse your home of demons. So let's talk about it. What happens when Mark consults the pastor?
Well, he tells the pastor that he thinks there's a ghost in the house. And the pastor, his very first reaction, he's kind of suggesting, ghosts? Come on, buddy. But very quickly follows that up with, in the Bible, it says there basically aren't ghosts, that you die and then you go to heaven or hell. So it's got to be something demonic. It's not that he didn't believe him. It's that something was up. He just didn't believe it was a ghost.
Yes, there's something alive in my house, and it's trying to hurt us. It's something evil.
Do you mean something supernatural?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is. Some kind of presence. Maybe a ghost or something.
A ghost? I'm not sure there is any such thing as a ghost.
I didn't think so either till last night.
By ghost, do you mean like a dead person, a disembodied soul, something like that?
I guess, yeah.
The Bible tells us that it's appointed once for man to die, and then comes the judgment. After that, a person either goes to heaven or hell. Mark, if there's something evil, supernatural, trying to hurt you, your family, it's demonic.
Aha! Yes. I thought that was very funny. The movie was like, There's no such thing as ghosts. There are such thing as demons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's something you did.
Basically. Because demons are very real in the Bible. I mean, this movie makes it quite clear, like, demons are something that you might come up against, like in this earthly plane. Like, they are there. A huge part of the Bible is Jesus rebuking demons. Like, it's like a very real part of his ministry. So why wouldn't you literally come across a demon in real life? That's what this film says, which I thought was awesome.
And really, of all the Halloween movies that we've covered, or just horror movies that we've covered for October, pretty much all of them have to do with like demons or Cigarette Burns kind of doesn't, but it sort of does in that, like, that might have been a demon might have produced La Fine Absolue Demande. We don't know.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, no, I mean, the demon is definitely like a through element of Christian horror, but I love Spirits Among Us. I think it's great for something that's happening like toward the end of Halloween because toward the end of our Halloween season. It's so exciting because this is the first thing we watched that was like, this could happen to you. Demons are real. I mean, I guess the Hazerites movie implied that because we knew it was a true story. But this movie just straight up like addressed the main character and was like, oh yeah, this is real. And then after acknowledging that Mark isn't crazy, it's not a ghost though. It's a demon. Then he says, well, Mark says, well, how are we going to get it out of here? And the pastor says, let me tell you. He says, I've had a little, Mark asks him, the pastor, you've dealt with this before? And he says, well, I've had a little experience and I've read a lot. Oh, he also, I mean, this whole part was very meaty. He says that demons are present in a lot of ways. He says that they happen in false philosophies, but they can become obvious when people try to manipulate them through doing things such as using incantations. And Mark was like, isn't that just in the movies?
It does sound crazy to a lot of people. But the Bible makes it clear to us that demons are real. In fact, the main point of Jesus' message was freeing people from their bondage to servitude to demons.
So, you've dealt with this before, Pastor?
Well, I've had a little experience, and I've read a lot. Demons are involved in all kinds of activities, false philosophies, but their influence isn't very obvious. It becomes obvious when people try to control or manipulate them for their own purposes through prayers, incantations, rituals, that kind of thing.
People really do that stuff? I thought that was just in the movies.
And the pastor says, no, not just in the movies. Occult activity has been on the rise.
Yeah.
There's more. Would you believe there's more occult activity than ever before?
This is why we need more broken demonic windows policing. Because as soon as a demon sees one of those, sees some occult graffiti, and the whole neighborhood's going to shit.
Yeah,
it's rubbing its hands together, peeking from behind a tree.
Yeah.
Well, I hate when gangs of teens spray paint like Genesis PRH lyrics on the undersides of bridges and stuff like that, and it definitely has a tendency to increase demonic activity in a particular area. Yeah, broken demonic windows policing is just one strategy that we should use to combat occultism on the rise. I mean, again, I think of Turmoil in the Toy Box, which we've covered several months ago, about how basically every piece of media is demonic.
Every time I think about that guy falling in the sewer.
Yes. The man
and then
fell
the
in
other
the sewer.
guy fasting so long he thought Skeletor
he found
the
Mr.
devil.
Rumples.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the sewer. He found Mr. Rumples who'd been flushed down the toilet. And that was when he realized he had to dedicate his life to I mean, maybe that is why occultism is on the rise, because media is more accessible than ever, and it's easier than ever to invite something into your home.
Yeah.
That might not be.
And not so easy to get rid of. It's something that happened both in this movie and last week's movie is that once he realizes there's a book that seems like might not be good to have in the house, he just throws it in the trash. Nothing more.
Right.
I think it's in the garage now, which should be fine.
Yes. That also happened in last week's movie, too. That happened in The Exorcism in Amarillo when she just... she's like, oh, not this book, and just puts it in like a blue bin like that you leave for the sanitation workers. But what you said made me think, Scott, like, you know, first of all, he doesn't do a good job of disposing it at first. Like that is definitely true. But also, I mean, imagine now we don't use physical media anymore.
No.
You wouldn't download an occultic book. But if you did, how do you get rid of it? I mean...
Oh, that's a great point. That's... Oh my God. If you like open an email you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And then it just like downloads instead of a virus, an occultic book.
An occultic PDF.
Yeah. Or, you know, you listen to a occultic audiobook on Audible.
Right.
Oh, like you fall asleep and the book ended and it just rolled into another one.
It rolled into an occultic book. You're listening to the Bible on tape. You're listening to the Bible on tape, and then it auto plays into an occultic, into the satanic Bible.
Yeah, like on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's just in the religious books category.
Right. Yeah, but that's what's even more insidious because a physical book can be destroyed. But like if you rent a book on Audible, like that's not even yours. Like you're beaming the file into your device. But like it's everywhere. It's like God. It's everywhere, though you cannot see it. Like the occultic media is swirling all around us.
Can you imagine just going to server farms around the world trying to like take out the actual components holding the demonic book?
Yeah. Like I wonder if there are Christian activists who are trying to do such a thing. But I mean, how are you going to, you know, there's YouTube videos where people talk about, you know, being like witches and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's so easy. Like your kid watches one of those. It's like fucking over for you. Like your house is going to be possessed as hell. Dude.
Yeah. Plus they just don't understand, like, because it's all about like aesthetic.
Yes.
Like witch aesthetics, which is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's a culture, not a costume, you know?
Dude, I know a woman who runs a somewhat popular Instagram page that is about witch aesthetics.
Oh my gosh.
Halloween and witch decorating and aesthetics. That is like her thing she does online. She's pretty popular for it. And listen, I know this woman, but I would not recommend Christian kids visit her Instagram page. Their house might get haunted. So this is something to think about. But, you know, it really gets deep when the pastor says, these are all the steps to remove the demon from your home. There are only 2 steps, by the way. I was like, I started a number list. I was like, let's go. Julian, remember when you and I watched The Whole Sex Talk? And there was like the 12 steps of like sin, like getting too deep into like physical contact. And I was like, step 1, holding hands.
Yeah.
Step 2, French kissing or whatever. That was actually like step 8 for some reason. But I was so excited. I fucking like got the notepad out. I was like, tell me, how do I get demons out of my home?
Yeah.
It was only 2 steps. The first one was great though. The first one was first, you have to go and remove all the occult things from your house. But the thing is, you might not always be able to see them at first. But if you go to the areas of your house where you're having the most difficulty, pray. And if you don't see them, like pray and look around really hard because there might be something there.
How will I know one of these occult things when I see it?
Well, it won't be something you normally find laying around the house. Black candles, incantation books, ashes, maybe even bones. It won't be something you're going to mistake for some knick-knack they left sitting in the attic.
And Mark fucking goes in the closet and is rooting around and finds like a demonic scroll.
Yes.
Like in the closet.
I thought he was going to pull out the ventriloquist dummy.
Oh,
right. Like maybe one of his own objects is possessed. Would have been interesting.
Also would have been funny to make that guy like a demonic object.
Yeah, the ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just finding these things, which it makes me wonder because he finds like a jawbone.
He finds
of
a
an
black
animal.
candle.
A black
He finds like a box of dirt. I don't really understand what that was.
If you don't
I
understand,
thought that was like ashes or something.
Yeah.
seemed like just
like bone ashes.
It was very funny because it felt so like, I don't know what this is. It's demonic.
Yes. And it also felt like a point and click game because it's like you go into a random corner of your house and it's like picked up black candle.
I might need this for later.
Yeah.
I might need this for later.
I can't do that right now. I can't do that right now. I should look around for more occult objects. I can't do that right now.
And the pastor says too, just pray and let God guide your hands to those objects. And as a believer, the Holy Spirit will let you know. You'll feel it.
He finds an animal skeleton in his attic. Like, bro, how did you move into all that? You moved into an empty house, right? You didn't notice when you were putting shit in your closet there was a black candle. There was literally a black candle when I moved to my apartment. I forgot about to say that.
This new one?
Oh boy.
It's still there. I actually noticed it while I kept it on the windowsill.
Light it.
Oh my God.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. I guess I forgot to mention that earlier when I was talking about things we found in our apartment.
I got a really bad headache last time I was over at your place.
Really? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And probably didn't have anything to do with working out and not eating and not drinking any water and then drinking sake instead of water after working out.
Yeah.
And then smoking cigarettes.
But you do get headaches around demonic activity, so it's something to take into consideration.
Well, no, it's funny because I literally did find a demonic candle, and like while I was watching the movie, I did like a slow motion pan and like looked to my right, and there was just straight up like a black candle on my windowsill, and I was like, "That's a little too much." Yeah, I totally forgot to mention that earlier, but that's how the occult like creeps into your life.
Yeah,
dude, I'm going to a pagan ceremony on Monday.
Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna infiltrate it from the inside.
What the hell? You can't be doing this and then come on our podcast.
My neighbors are having Samhain, I think it's called.
Oh yeah.
It's like the pagan New Year.
Something. Oh, you invited me to this.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize it was that.
Well,
you gotta bring a Bible and hide it somewhere. So
that's what I'm gonna do.
To angelic things.
I'm gonna bring a Bible. And exactly. I'm going to put it somewhere. So like whatever they think they're doing, I'm going to block it from happening. That's why I'm going.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Like chain yourself up to the giant owl or whatever they're going to burn.
Yeah. The owl with the Walter Cronkite's voice on it. Like the one that's in Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mark is like literally going around and finding like 5 or 6 fucking entire demonic objects just in his family home that no one ever thought to like throw away or find. Like this movie is literally implying like, look around your home because there might be like fucking like, there might be an animal skeleton somewhere.
Yeah. So are we supposed to think that the people who lived there before, the couple that was fighting at the beginning, that they were involved in the placement of these objects or rituals?
I don't think so. I think it was the man in the cloak.
But I didn't know if they were one of the. I guess it wasn't them. So I guess it's just that
expressly said so.
The presence of these demonic objects led to the falling apart of that relationship, and that
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's my read on it.
I got the idea that it was her house and that he had moved in with her because I forget what he said exactly, but he said something on the way out that was like something about this house.
I'm done with your accusations and your crazy stories and all the problems with this house. I'm done with this relationship.
You were done with this relationship a long time ago. You finally have the guts to admit it. You want to know why I can't see your tail? Because it's tucked between your legs, that's why.
A hurt little 12-year-old couldn't say it better. I'm leaving this house, and you'll be leaving too. I'm putting this place up for sale to whatever poor idiot wants to live here. You have 3 days to get yourself and everything you want out of this house.
Oh, but he did say he was putting it up for sale. So that would imply that he owned it.
Oh.
It was left kind of open-ended. No one really explained why the man in the cloak was there, what he was doing,
Right.
if he was going like, I'm going to curse this house, or if he just like lived there and that was like, he was just doing his fucking thing. He was working from home at the Chaos Magic Factory.
Yep.
And, it wasn't really explained. It was left open-ended. But yeah, my thought was that the people who lived there before, they didn't know what to do. They let the dark energy consume them and it ruined their relationship. And then step 2. So step 1, remove all the fucking item, anything that's clogging up your item inventory.
Yeah.
Eliminate that from your house. And then next step is pray. Go around from room to room and pray.
This was great when they were like praying at the bed and it started shaking and stuff. And then when they were in the attic praying and like the house was flashing and saw that weird like Ken Russell style, like the demonic objects like floating over a purple sky.
Yeah.
Real quick flash of that stuff. This movie was cool.
It was. There's some really cool things
This
about
is
it.
my kind of movie.
Yeah, totally.
It was a fun one.
Yeah.
It really was.
What was up with that at the very end after they big spoiler, but they get the demon out.
They do.
But were they watching at the very end that weird cartoon?
Yes,
great Captain
Great points.
Optimismo.
Optimisto.
That is a great point. That actually that is something we have to quickly investigate.
That had to have
before
been
we sign
made
off
for this
today.
movie.
I just know all of your good thinking is getting us on the right path.
So we want to give you something for all of your hard work, inspiration, and optimism.
Like a beautiful moment.
I wonder if they were promoting someone else's.
I tried to
work?
look it up and I couldn't find it.
You're
But
right.
check.
I cannot find
Because
it.
there was a shot where it was like they had the footage, like the actual footage of the cartoon.
Yes.
Most of it was the camera pointed at a television playing this. But there was one moment where they did, like, it was clear that they cut the actual footage of the cartoon into the film.
Yes, I agree. I cannot find any evidence of this. I agree. It's if I had to guess, it was like they were promoting some other Christian content creator, filmmaker's work, but there's like no record of it.
Was there anything in the credits?
I didn't notice. I didn't think to look for that. Let me look at director Ray Jenkins's IMDb. This is the only thing he's ever made that's documented.
Wow.
Yeah,
only one
if
credit.
you look at more of his YouTube, he's done like a lot of like commercial work and like shooting live performances, that kind of thing.
Did you look up DGW Media Productions? I'm gonna check it out. I mean, that might be his YouTube channel. I don't know, but I just noticed that that's listed on IMDb. DGW Doing Good Works Media Productions. DGW Video, Wyoming.
Cartoon was psychotic.
It really was. In my notes I wrote ended with the fucking Christian Cotton Eye Joe. So that another random like piece of media in the movie that I loved. There's a really quick moment where it cuts to I think it's in the scene where it's in Janice's dream where Mark is going to kill their daughter. Mm-hmm. And she's like the daughter's like oblivious in her room wearing headphones, and it's playing this like bubblegum pop song where like I don't remember it, but the lyrics are like I remember the lyric being like it's 6 a.m.
No, you stay away from her! Don't you touch her!
You can't stop me, Janice. You might slow me down, but you can't stop me. Innocent little one, you're all mine.
Julie, run!
Innocent little one,
6 a.m. is like a tween bubblegum pop song about it being 6 a.m.
Yeah, getting up for school.
I guess, but it was funny. Like, we didn't hear enough of the song for me to like identify it, but I just like, I don't know, maybe I'll have to put the clip in or something. But I love when there's fake pop songs written for movies. That's like one of my favorite things. So I was hoping that that's what that was, but we didn't really get enough of it to investigate it.
Okay, I found the cartoon.
Really?
Information.
What?
It was created in the end of the credits. It says cartoon on television, fruition, used with permission from Perry Towel.
Perry Towel?
Yeah, www.thefruition.com, which does not exist anymore.
I'm going to look up Perry Towel. What
And
the fuck kind of a name is Perry Towel, dude? That's so crazy. Is it spelled like towel?
What's it?
Towle.
Towle. Jesus Christ.
Which I can't tell if
So it's called Fruition Station?
He created like a meditation pillow.
He's holy shit. I'm going to his LinkedIn right now.
What?
It's very strange.
Oh, dude. Oh my God, dude. His LinkedIn rocks. Okay, I'm looking at his activity and he says something like, he commented on something about Snapchat and he wrote, "You're going to roll it out to the global community? What other poison causes of teen depression, body dysmorphia, unhealthy product ads, blah, 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 can Americans inject into innocent cultures?"
But then what's the picture he has attached to that?
Oh, it's like a screenshot of the horrible ads on Snapchat. I mean, Snapchat, to be clear, is a horrible place. I mean, I'm going to assume this is Perry Towel. How many fucking other Perry Towels?
Yeah, I think it's him because he also sometimes has like cartoons. I mean, his style has changed a little bit, but I think he must have like made this cartoon when he was a lot younger or something. But his main thing now is called Unglue, and it's a meditation pillow.
Jesus.
That you can bring anywhere. It's a little meditation chair.
Dude, his right around the time this movie came out, 2009, his resume says freelance Flash design.
Yeah, that
which
sounds
makes
about
sense.
right.
Yeah, he animated the movie on like Flash.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, Perry Towel. Dude, shout outs to Perry Towel. Perry Towel.
For real.
Perry Towel. Perry Towel, Perry Towel.
No,
Perry
no,
Towel.
no, no, no. Hi, everybody.
Wow. The Fruition by Perry Towel. That's like if Tyler Perry got thrown into the Dali generator. Perry Towel.
It's Phil Towel. No, Phil Blanket. Who's the guy from the Metallica documentary?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it's Phil Towel. I wonder if he's related.
They're psychologist or whatever?
Yeah. It's
wow.
Yeah, it's Phil Towel, spelled the same way.
Phil Towel. Any relation to Perry?
Well, very well could be.
Well, what do you say? Anything else to say about Spirits Among Us?
It's a good movie. Everybody should watch it. It's 62 minutes long. It's on YouTube. The producer director put it there himself. Ray Jenkins.
Ray Jenkins.
And you can watch Fruition there too on YouTube.
Oh wow, you found Fruition. Great job. Good teamwork.
He posted it on September 11th, 2006.
Jesus. Perry Towel, 7 subscribers. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
That's awesome. Man, that's great. That's what he thought to post. Love it.
Love give you the strength and grace to do what needs to be done.
Wow. Okay, I want to get to the fucking Cotton Eye Joe shit.
Man. Cotton Eye Joe is a Christian movie or a Christian song though.
What?
It is a Christian song. Yeah. I learned it from Ray Comfort because he asked, "Where did you come from? Where did you go?
We're in a drought, son.
Heaven or hell?"
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
This movie was cool. I liked the how he was wearing to combat the ghosts.
Yes.
He put on a black shirt, Desert Storm camouflage pants, and had like combat boots on too.
Yeah, That was so funny. I love when
he
he
got
goes,
his ass kicked immediately.
he's trying to hit a ghost with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
And yeah, he fucking puts on like camo parachute pants. Like he looks like he's going out raving in the desert.
I keep playing the part when he moves the camera really fast to try to catch it. Something about that was just so incredible.
That was so true. Yeah.
Never has anybody looked less intimidating.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Which works so well. It was such an interesting reverse of what we saw last week, where like the man of the house like really can't do it on his own.
Yes.
They make it like really clear you need help for stuff that's for stuff in general, big things that happen. You should ask for help. But like last week they go to the pastor and it's like the trash humpers pastor, like we were saying. And he's just like totally useless and like runs out scared saying, "I'll see you at church on Sunday." It's almost like an anti-church movie.
It kind of is. It basically says that, like the masculine power of the man of the house is more powerful than a spiritual authority. I will say what both movies have in common is that they explicitly say that the man of the house in Spirits Among Us, in today's movie, the pastor explicitly says to Mark, you as the head of the household are in the most opportune position to use the authority that Jesus has given you to cast out demons. Because he has dominion over the household. He's a man. He's the head of the household.
But his wife ends up coming to like be by his side and like say the prayers with him too.
So I'm trying to figure out why Perry Towle has uploaded Fruition 3 times to his YouTube page over the past 7 years. Over the past 16 years.
Is it a higher quality each time?
2 of them are the same quality and then 1 is really bad quality. But the middle one is the bad quality, which I don't understand. You would think it would be the first one that's bad quality.
Right.
Well, what do you say, boys? Should we rate this movie?
Yeah.
This was a good one, but what did we think of it? Spirits Among Us, the official boys Bible study rating.
It was a little scary for my taste. Reminded me a lot of that video of the couple with the dancing skeleton toy that's possessed.
Dude, I almost brought that up earlier.
Yeah.
Great call. That video of because they're looking for something. They want to have a spiritual experience. So this YouTube family that's confronting the dancing skeleton, being like, "Get out of here!" While the skeleton's just shaking its little ass. That video is amazing.
That's funny. Skeletons are funny. No, I haven't. I'm going to show that to my child, though. She'll love it.
We may have watched it at some
point.
But it's just this couple pressing a skeleton button over and over again. Like it just goes like, and they're being like, "It's saying what do you want?" And they keep pressing the button. And it glitches and starts like, dancing uncontrollably. And they're going like, "Oh my God."
I wish my life was so much simpler.
Oh man.
Well, that's
that would make my child so happy. She literally told me yesterday she dreamt that she played toys with skeletons.
Oh, you got a goth kid.
Delighted, yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah,
beach goth.
But I agree with you, Julian. Like this movie, it's so significant. If you are this type of Christian, you know that in your life you might physically do like prayer, like magical prayer battle with a demon. You're always prepared for that.
It's so simple.
It's amazing. Like, why wouldn't you want to live this way? You get to do fucking like Dungeons and Dragons shit all the time.
Yeah.
But it's not Dungeons and Dragons because it's real, and that's demonic.
Yep. Unfortunately, I'm a jinxologist, so I am in no control of my life whatsoever.
You only believe in jinxing.
Yep. I'm going to give it 6 out of 6 AMs, the child's favorite time of day.
Yeah, apparently. Perfect score, if I do say so myself. Scott, do you have one? What do you think?
Trying to think. I was kind of going for a Joe Sherlock reference because this really did remind me so much of Joe Sherlock vibes. Just that good, fun enthusiasm of people who know each other making stuff together. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that the couple in the movie were a real life couple? in the credits.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Aww.
That's great.
Yeah.
The
Made for some good chemistry.
The family that acts together, stacks together. Stacks paper together, that is.
Ooh, I can't think of a good rating.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I'm going to give this movie 1 out of 1. Mr. Rumbles. R.I.P. He did nothing wrong.
Day
he was a good toy. And that wasn't right. How dirty they did Julie.
They really did.
Not only did they not believe that she would not shove her favorite toy in the toilet, but she lost the toy.
Yeah.
Really, truly, though, really fun SOV vibe movie made for very little money. It was great. Everybody go watch it. It's on YouTube.
I completely agree. Everyone should watch this perfect film. I, myself, Ash, would like to say, yeah, this is a very creative, low-budget production. Had good pacing, good special effects. It literally told you that demons are real, which technically makes it one of the scariest horror films we've ever seen, because I haven't really seen a movie genuinely be like, yeah, this is real, what's happening here. So I'm going to have to give this film a 6 out of 6 bones in the attic. We got bones in the attic, folks. Check your attic for bones. If you're hearing any bumps in the night, you might want to root around up in your attic for bones.
You're scaring me. Starting to scare me.
Well, thank you to everyone who listened to this episode. If this is your first time here, please go to boysbiblestudy.com. That's where you can find all of our free episodes and links to every place where you can find our show and subscribe to it. So please check that out. And if you really like what we do, you want to hear more content, you want to get Boys Bible Study episodes every week, consider pledging for $5 at patreon.com/boysbiblestudy. That's where you unlock all the occultic secrets of the Boys Bible Study Patreon. Special shout outs to our patron saints at the $20 tier, whom we shout out on every episode. Nicole, Marissa, Jeff, Jane, Kara, and Rhett. Also, our outro music is Oh My God by Mary. From all of us here at Boys Bible Study, myself, Ash, my co-hosts, Scott and Julian, we would like to say, peace be with you.
I think I hear something.
I think I hear something too, for real. That's scary.
I think it said, and also with you.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I feel your love in me, it's coming from within. Oh my God, my devotion is so unwavering. Divine emotions when you enter me. Every day you take